Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel. In this short video we're going to discuss events that took place during the previous 12 hours, and we have a lot of very interesting updates. The most interesting updates as usual are coming from Ukraine, and there we got more information, more updates from Ternopil after the explosion of Russian missile, after the destroying of Ukrainians' ammo depots. Let's take a look at the explosion itself one more time. As you can see, there was a very huge explosion and the Russians were attacking this area for a few days in a row, and after that the Ukrainian source and the Western source start public the information about the increasing of the daily average gamma dose rate in this area. So as you can see, this level has been increased starting from the 10th of May till the 13th of May. So these days this level was pretty huge, and it's a normal situation for this part of Ukraine. And some sources are saying that there is another picture, it's about the gamma ray. As you can see, the same situation on the 12th and 14th of May. I'm not an expert in this field, but some sources are saying, maybe they're speculating, they're saying that that was the ammo depot of uranium depleted shells for the tanks, for the Challengers that were supplied by the United Kingdom. The Russians destroy those ammo depots, and this increasing of the level of gamma dose rate is completely connected with this situation. One more time, probably, and there is a very high chance that this is speculation, but anyway, this is a very interesting piece of news that I believe we needed to discuss. Another interesting updates are coming from the Lugansk, and today the Russian sources published that there was another missile attack in Lugansk, and there were two rockets in this area. The Russians are saying that the first rocket was some kind of fake rocket, just to let's say to stress the Russian air defense system, and another rocket was the real missile, and that missile hit a building, some kind of military school in Lugansk. Probably the Ukrainians were trying to target and get the Russian accumulation of forces. For now, there are no updates about the number of casualties and losses from the Russian side. I believe that later the Ukrainians will provide us more details about this information, but the thing is that this is the third attack in a row when the Ukrainians were using the Storm Shadow rocket, or probably Gram 2 rockets, were attacking Lugansk, and the Russians can't do anything with this. Interesting updates are coming from Bakhmut. The Wagners continue attacking and storming the western part of Bakhmut. There are fierce fightings all over the front lines, and the most fierce fightings, of course, in the western fortification by the name of Citadel. The Russian sources are saying that they achieved significant success inside of the Citadel. The Russians are saying that as a result of fierce clashes, they managed to capture or to establish control over more than, let's say, or 40 or 50% of the, let's say, nest fortification. Furthermore, the Russians managed to develop their bridgehead to the south between these fortifications, between constructor fortification and between the nest fortification. They managed to capture this mall, this like marketplace by the name of Simya, and furthermore they managed to develop a little bit their movements, their positions in constructor and so on. Some sources are saying that the Russians, as a result of these fierce fightings, managed to that these like fortifications has already been collapsed, but for now we still haven't received any confirmation of that. I believe that during the day, or at least by tomorrow morning, the nest fortification, this one where we can find 93rd Mechanized Brigade or many other parts as well, will be collapsed, and some sources are saying that just one fortification left. I'm talking about Domino, this one, but probably Domino, I will give you better understanding what I'm trying to tell. This is the Domino fortification, the last one, and the sources are saying that probably this is the final fortifications that left, and a lot of military experts expect that within a few days this entire area will collapse and will fall. And the question is why the Ukrainians have launched their counter-offensive operation, and as well a lot of military experts are saying that those attacks on the south area and those attacks on the northern flank had just the one purpose: to unblock the road and to allow the rest of the force from the western Bakhmut to retreat, at least to save as much as possible manpower. The question is whether the exchange of those forces who will be killed during those unblocking operation and those forces who are left in the western part of Bakhmut is equal, or at least it's worth it. I don't know. And something tells me that the previous Ministry of Defense report are saying that probably this is like unfair exchange, and the losses of Ukrainians for 3 days were around 2,000 soldiers, and probably there are maybe even less forces in the western part of Bakhmut in comparison with the forces they need to pay to rescue them, or something like this. Furthermore, today we receive more updates about the casualties and fightings on the salient between like Ivanovsk and Clishev in this area, and the Russian sources are saying that as a result of fierce fightings, the Ukrainians managed to penetrate and to manage to capture the forest area, and currently the Russians, to be more precise, the 72nd Mechanized Brigade with four separate motorized rifle brigade were forced to step back, and currently they're trying to keep and to prepare their defense positions in Clishev fortification area. Very interesting updates are coming from the Kupyansk front line. The Russians are saying that as a result of fierce fightings, as a result of offensive operation, they finally managed to establish control over Masyukovka, this small village that located on the north of Kupyansk. So we'll follow this situation as well. And if you remember previous videos, we discussed that the level of losses of the Ukrainians on the Kupyansk front line has been increased, and these days they are showing like significant level of losses, 100 soldiers per day. So probably those losses are tightly connected with these advances of the Russians on the Kupyansk front line. And that's it about the ground situation. Another interesting and important update are coming from Turkey. Today we have added another icon to this area, and this is the icon of the Turkish presidential candidate Kılıçdaroğlu, this one. And as you know, this weekend there were elections and presidential elections, and the main candidates is Recep Tayyip Erdogan, and his another candidate is Kılıçdaroğlu. And probably most of the people, most of the political experts suppose that Erdogan would try to win the presidential elections in the first tour, and some sources were speculating that Erdogan is going to fake the elections or something like this. But as we understand, there are going to be the second tour of elections, because as a result of the first tour, the current president of Turkey, Erdogan, got 49%, and the second candidate, Kılıçdaroğlu, got 45%, and the third place is after the Sinan Ogan. And currently now, exactly the people who voted for Sinan Ogan will determine who is going to be the next president of Turkey. And for now, we got like 100% sure information that Sinan Ogan would ask his people to vote for Kılıçdaroğlu. So probably this is the final presidential term of the current president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. And if he loses, of course, we will remove his icon from the map, and we are going to change and edit the map icon of this currently Turkish presidential candidate Kılıçdaroğlu. And that's it for this short video update. Thank you for watching. Military Summer channel reminds we condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.